Yeah. And one additional bit of information, we just decided who will speak in what order, just for your convenience and understanding. The first person to speak will be Senator Angus King from Maine, who's been leading this. He is co-chair of the United States Senate Arctic Caucus, which he joined with Senator Lisa Murkowski, Republican from Alaska, who will be speaking after him. And after that, it will be Senator Gary Peters. And then after that, it will be Senator Maggie Hassan.
That's for you.
Oh, we've got our fellow parliamentarians in the back there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we've had a very productive and informative trip to Greenland over the last 3 days. We started up north at Pituffik Space Base. We've been here for the last couple of days meeting with public officials. We just met with the Prime Minister, meeting with the Foreign Minister later this morning, met with parliamentarians, the ICC. So we've had a lot of learning on this trip. I should tell you a little bit about who we are. We're 4 senators from the northern tier of states, Alaska, Michigan, New Hampshire, Maine, all of whom have had a long-term and consistent interest in the Arctic and in Greenland, going back before the recent events. This is my second trip. Lisa Murkowski has been here so many times they think of her as a local. But I think it's important to emphasize that this is not our first foray into the Arctic. In fact, we have been beating the drum for at least 10 years about the strategic importance of the Arctic in terms of global competition, and that there should be an Arctic strategy, and that we should be working with the nations, the Arctic nations, particularly those that are members of NATO, all of whom are members of NATO, to provide security to the high north. So that's the sort of context of our trip. Secondly, I think it's important that part of our message to the Greenlandic people is respect. And respect for the people of Greenland's integrity, their interest in managing their own affairs, their work with the Kingdom of Denmark, and that's an important part of the message that we bring. That many of those, I would say a majority in the United States Congress, as well as our citizens, are very supportive of Greenland. And as I have said repeatedly in the States, if there's a national security interest in Greenland, it does not necessitate acquisition, annexation, invasion, or any other specific control. In order to develop additional national security assets in Greenland, which I think should be the case, all that would have taken was a phone call. It would not take the kind of activity that we've seen over the last several months. I was pleased that the president at Davos took military force off the table, and that we have now entered into a tripartite discussions about the security situation in Greenland and additional partnerships with this country of such huge potential and resilient and magnificent people. So that's the background of our trip. As I say, we've had really excellent meetings. I don't want to disparage any of the meetings that we had, but the 4 of us yesterday took a helicopter trip over the ice sheet, and I have to say that was a lifetime experience for me to see the ice sheet, to see the glaciers, and frankly to see where the glaciers used to be, which is a demonstration of what's happening in terms of climate. This country is one of the epicenters of climate change, and to have had that experience yesterday and fly back into Nuuk into the sunset was one of the most memorable experiences of my life. So we will take some questions, but all 4 of us are going to make make some statements. My name is Angus King, by the way. I'm a United States Senator from Maine. I'm an independent. I caucus with the Democrats, and look forward to working with my colleagues in Washington and with the administration to develop a kind of positive, mutually respectful relationship with Greenland that comity and the rules-based international order requires. So with that, I will turn it over to my colleague from Alaska. I will tell one story. When I first entered the Senate, being from Maine, which we have, for example, the Icelandic company Eimskip has a major facility in Maine. I said to Senator Murkowski one day, walking over to the Senate chamber, I would like to be the Arctic senator. And Senator Murkowski immediately replied, no, you can be the assistant Arctic senator. So I will introduce the Arctic senator, Senator Murkowski.
Senator King, thank you. Thank you for that. I am Lisa Murkowski. I'm from the state of Alaska, the state that makes the United States an Arctic nation, and an Arctic nation that I think has just of late come into its own responsibility for the Arctic. This has been a significant CODEL for my colleagues. As has been mentioned, I've been here in Greenland multiple times, but each time is yet another opportunity to better understand not only the region, not only the geography, but the strength and the resilience of the people. As Senator King mentioned, we had a pretty spectacular day yesterday, about a 10 out of a 10 in our opportunity to see the ice cap. But I could not help but look at this land, this massive, raw, ancient land, without thinking about the people who call this land home and who have for generations and thousands of years, and the resilience of the people. And so to those resilient, strong, amazing people who are now feeling threat and fear from our country, your ally, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart to know of the anxiety and the concern that you and your families face as you feel this time of unsettledness and what that must mean. We've had very good conversations with fellow parliamentarians, as Senator King mentioned, just with the Prime Minister, shortly with Vivian Motzfeldt, your foreign minister. These have all been important because there has not been a single meeting that we have had where it has been suggested that we don't want to have the United States as a friend and an ally. We do not want additional security. What we want is for these discussions about security to be done with us. Nothing about us without us. There is a reason for the name of your security strategy. And it's not just about defense, it's about all aspects of your security. And so recognizing the sovereignty, recognizing the autonomy of the Greenlandic people is something that we have an obligation as your friend and your ally to work towards addressing. There is no relationship, personal, business, or otherwise, that comes easy, that comes without work. In just a few sentences and words, trust that has been built since World War II has been eroded and degraded. We need to work to rebuild that trust. That's why you see members of Congress that are here to remind you that, yes, our president may make certain statements, but we also, as Congress, have a role. We have a system of checks and balances. So how we exercise that, I think, is important for Greenlanders to know as well, whether it is through the power of appropriations and authorizing or not authorizing spending, whether it is the value of exchanges that is so important in understanding one another. Know that your Congress, our Congress, has a role in how we move forward with our friends in Greenland. I will end with one comment. We talk a lot about the transatlantic alliance and what that means from a NATO perspective and how important it is to continue that. I think more of the alliance as being a trans-Arctic alliance and what we as Arctic nations can be doing as we build the strength and security that benefits Greenland, that benefits the Kingdom of Denmark, that benefits Alaska and the United States. There is a shared interest that we must work together towards, and it begins and it ends with constructive, respectful dialogue. And I'll now turn to my colleague, Senator Peters.
Thank you. I'm Gary Peters, Senator from Michigan. This is my first trip to Greenland, and I'll concur with my colleagues. It's been just an amazing trip, not only